Welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we interview the biggest and most successful real estate entrepreneurs, investors, and capital raisers in the world to provide you with the tool sets, the mindsets, and the skill sets to help you conquer yourself, your life, your marriage, and use real estate as your wealth creation vehicle so that you can live a more successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and contribution. If what you're after is having it all, if what you desire is becoming the best version you can be across all areas, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, sentimentally, and financially, you've come to the right place. We will bring to you the best of the best real estate entrepreneurs who will give you the insights, knowledge, experience, and skills so that you can go out and crush it financially and across all areas of your life. Grab pencil and paper, sit back, enjoy, and you are welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. Hello, Modern Kings and Queens. Welcome to another episode of the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we interview some of the best and biggest real estate investors in the world to provide you with the tool sets, mindsets, and skill sets for you to be able to conquer yourself, your life, your marriage, and use real estate as your wealth creation vehicle so that you can achieve your financial freedom and be successful, happy, and fulfilled, and live a more successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and contribution. So I'm super excited today because I have an incredible modern queen with me today. But before I introduce her to you, though, I just want to take a few seconds to ask all of you watching or listening for a favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, if you get an insight, if you learn a new skill, if you get some interesting information or maybe some inspiration and the motivation to go out and take some action and keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode. Share it on your social media, share it on your stories, on your Facebook wall or whatever. Share it with someone you know might be interested in real estate. Share it with someone you know that this will impact and help us help other people. And to all of you who take a couple of seconds to share and help other people, I send you a big hug and a big thank you. And today I have Jazmin. She's a serial entrepreneur at heart with a broad range of experience working with multiple businesses of all sizes in multiple industries and expertise in customer service and sales, most importantly, backed up by a couple of business degrees nationally and internationally, 2 business startups in the past 3 years prior to joining Massive Capital and becoming a real estate investor. She's the founder of Massive Capital Girls Society, co-author of Powerful Female Immigrants Volume 2, investor relations manager at Massive Capital. Um, she has been an active investor in commercial and land and land acquisitions for over 3 years, and right now she's co-sponsor of over 800 units and limited partner in about 174 units. So super excited to talk to you, Jazmin. Thank you very much for being here, and you're welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Alexis. This is amazing. I was just looking at your content and the conversation that we had before, and sounds like we are very aligned on our mindset, not just on real estate and wealth, but on every single aspect, personally, professionally, spiritually. So I'm super excited. I'm honored to be here. So let's roll.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. And you know what? Actually, I was looking at the Massive Capital website, and one of your wait, I forgot the word. Values is purpose, right? And actually, I have 3 values. Well, 6, right? 3 are for my personal life, and then 3 are for like business. And my 3 values for my personal life are purpose. Actually, that's the first one. Growth and contribution, right? Because I'm all about my purpose, about pushing forward my purpose, which is being a modern king. I believe that everyone's purpose is to um, just try to be more that you are today than you were yesterday, and try to be more tomorrow than you are today, and just and just to keep on growing and evolving. And that's purpose, right? And I always keep that in the front of my mind. And growth, which comes from my purpose, and contribution, which as I grow and become better, I'm always looking to give that away. So and I was looking at your Massive Capital website, and servants and leadership, that's contribution, and then you have purpose as well. And yeah, we're definitely pretty aligned. So I'm super excited. Thank you.
Of
Um
course.
and the first thing that I do with my guest, Jasmine, is I ask my guests to walk us through their real estate investing journey in 75 seconds or less.
Okay, so I was saving money. I always wanted to have a business and I always had this entrepreneur side, inside of me. So I was just saving money because my dad said, like, whatever business you want to put or to start, you're going to need money. So here I am saving money, working in different industries and in different jobs. I started from scratch. My first job was in fast food, and I was saving money. At one point, I had $45,000 in my bank account, and I was like, "Oh,
Nice.
what do I do now?" And I was like, "I'm not ready to open a business. I don't even know what kind of business should I start." But I also knew that real estate is the best investment. I wasn't
Mm.
too sure what kind of investment. I was like, should I buy a house? Should I buy a duplex, live on one side? Should I buy land? Should I, start building? Like all these options that we have in real estate. And I was like, you know what? I don't know, but when I'll figure something out, I'm just gonna buy a piece of land because that's what I can pay cash, don't get with lenders and all those crazy things. I was like, let me just buy a piece of land. I don't have the money in the bank, it's growing, and that's like the safest place that I can put my money.
Okay.
So I started. So okay, that's how I started in real estate. I bought this piece of land. A few months after, I got the opportunity to join a real estate investment firm as my W-2 job, and I learned how to analyze the properties. And I found out I didn't get such a good deal on my lot. It was I paid higher than anybody else in the
Yeah.
neighborhood per square foot, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell it. So long story short, I just sold it, and now I had money. I was like, okay, let me do this one more time. And this is how I started buying and reselling land. I've been doing that for 4 years. But last year I was like, what's next for me? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I came across multifamily. I was exploring all the venues in real estate. I knew real estate was my passion and that's where I wanted to stay. But I found out about multifamily and everything made sense to me. The tax benefits, scaling. So that's how I started.
That's awesome. Um, and you know what's even more interesting and awesome that you got a W-2 job at a real estate investing firm. So talk to me about that. Like, what was your job? Oh, you actually told me a little bit. Analyzing deals and properties. But what was your job and how did you land that job? Who told you to do that?
That's good. Nobody told me. So my background, I've been in sales for 10 years just because when I came to this country, I was looking, I mean, I didn't have papers, so I was looking to find my way through. I found out like I had to open a business. I wasn't allowed to enter corporate America, but I needed to create businesses. So my focus was always in sales because I was like, who doesn't need sales? And I was able
Yeah.
to be an independent contractor. So all my background was in sales, and when I found about this company, I was like, I don't have any experience in real estate, but the value that I can add is on sales, and that's exactly what I need. They needed somebody who can sell the investment properties to investors, and that's what
Mm,
I did. So they
cool.
told me, we're gonna teach you everything about real estate. You know, you just need to be willing to put the work. And that's what people like, you know, we don't need to know all the technical things. We just need to be open to, do the
Yeah.
work
And take action. Massive
and
action.
massive action, pick up the phone and hustle, because that's what is gonna unlock a lot of opportunities.
That's crazy. So you literally landed a job at a real estate investing firm, and they told you that you're going to do this job and we're going to teach you everything about it. That's crazy. And then we're gonna pay you, right? So you were going to be selling the investments to investors. So how did that look like? Were you like calling people? Were you like what were you doing? What did your job consist of?
Yeah, so of course they had a database with investors, and I will just pick up the phone, call them, and find out about their criteria. You know, some investors were into fix and flip, some others were builders, some others were in multifamily. So pretty much just like building that connection with investors and finding out what kind of properties they will love to have or they were looking for. So when we had properties, I know who to call.
Okay. So classifying every single potential investor. Okay, cool. And so then you went into that, and then did you partner up with that same company that you worked for?
No, that was just my W2 job. And
Okay.
that's actually why I left, because at one point I was like, okay, now I want to be part of the table, like I want to be
Mm-hmm.
part of the equity, and they were just looking to keep me as a W2 job. So that's why that's another reason why I joined my Civic Capital.
Okay. So you left, and then what?
So I left and find that's when I found about multifamily. So I joined a couple masterminds about multifamily real estate and start connecting. Networking, it's everything and is one of the keys. I was clear on my purpose and on my goals, that multifamily is my next step. This is what I want to get. And I started connecting with the movers and shakers in multifamily, and I was looking for somebody who was based in Houston. So pretty much I was connecting with all the players, and once I found somebody who was aligned to my goals, to what I wanted to do and everything, I was like, let's partner up. This is what I can bring to the table. Do you think you need me?" And he's like, "Yeah." That's one of
Cool.
the that I always tell people, like, we need to be clear on what are our strengths and our flaws. So when we can talk to people and we have the opportunity to be with a player, we tell them like, these are my strengths and this is what I can bring to the table. Can I add value to you? Because some people is just like, how can I add value to you? How can I be part of your company? How can I partner up with you? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me, what are your—
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then out of all of the different real estate investments out there, right? Like, what made you come to the conclusion that you wanted to go into multifamily specifically?
Yeah, so I've been doing land on my own for the last 4 years, buying and reselling land. And at the end of the year, we get if we do these kind of transactions, we gotta pay taxes on capital gains.
Okay.
So I was paying so much on taxes. I usually buy like 4 lots every month. So
Mm-hmm.
it was getting too much. And when I found out about multifamily and all the tax advantages that we can take, I was like, okay, this is incredible. Because actually today, I received my first K1. I invested 50,000 and I received a K1 with 21,000 as a loss. It's just paper loss that we receive in multifamily, because the property is cash flowing and it's appreciating, but we are able to take all these depreciations to offset our income. So that was the first reason why I got in multifamily. The second reason why is like how quick you can scale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it makes sense to me how quick you can, instead of owning a single family, you can own a building with 100 doors. It's
Yeah.
less risky. You have a property manager. You don't have to deal with the tenants. If one tenant leaves, you still good, because you still cash flowing for 99 units. So everything made sense to me. I was like, yeah, to why would I settle to own a duplex or a fourplex when I can own a whole building with 300 doors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So it makes sense, right? It makes
Yeah.
total sense.
And
Um.
most of the people think like you need to have millions in your bank account to be part of, to purchase this kind of assets. I know it's like we all can do it. We just need to collaborate with different individuals, and everybody brings different things to the table. And of course we get loans and everything, but it's a whole team. We pull a whole team together to purchase this kind of assets.
Cool. I wanna ask a little bit more about that, right? Like your team and all of that. Um, but before I do is, most real estate investors or multifamily real estate investors, like to be more specific, commercial multifamily real estate investors didn't start it right in the commercial real estate multifamily real estate investing business. They actually, were into single family, and then they like fixed and flip, and then they like bought a duplex and then a fourplex, and then someday, like sometime, it clicked, right? And they were like, I could probably do it bigger, right? And it's better, and there's more tax benefits, and there's more scalability, and it's less risky and all of that. And like one day they just like, it clicked, it shifted their mind, and then they started to like, right, and then but like what I'm trying to say is that shift for most real estate investors takes years. So like from the time they realize that it's better to be in multifamily and go bigger faster. And in the time that they are doing everything small, it takes years for them to realize and actually take action and go and dive deep into multifamily. Did was that how it went for you, or did you just like knew that you wanted to go into big commercial multifamily real estate investing?
I attended to one. I'm so glad that you brought this question because I attended to one summit, and I that's when I understood, like, wait a minute, so you're telling me I don't have to go through all the hustle of fix and flip and Airbnb and all that in order to acquire these kind of assets? Like, everybody can do it. So I was like, if I can skip all that, I'll do it. I
Yeah.
don't want to, like, it's like life is short, the main reason and what actually clicked to me is like some of my mentors own single family before, and so many people that I was networking with, they were doing single family and small multifamily
Yeah.
units, and all of them, they end up in multifamily, and it's like, oh,
So why
screw
not just keep the
that.
line?
Yeah, and I'm like, if I can skip the line, I'll for sure do it. Life is short, so I'll go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah.
and everybody finish here. I don't know if you know Rodcliffe, but at one point he owned like over 2,000 single families in the
Oh, what
whole
a headache.
country.
Yeah,
Yes, and he always talks about all the pain that he went through, and now he's really big in multifamily.
for
So
sure.
him and so many other mentors that I have were in the same situation. So I was like, if I can skip it, I'll do it.
Yeah, I had Rodcliffe on my Gentleman's podcast, by the way. But yeah, I've heard that story, and so more. Yeah, so like if the finish line is going to be multifamily, why not just skip it, right? But what actually keeps real estate investors from skipping that line and going big sooner is like just fears and limiting beliefs, and well, I can't, or I won't, or I'm not willing to, whatever, right? Did you had any of that? Did you had any fear? Did you had any limiting beliefs that stopped you for some time or anything like that?
No, probably that's actually one of my superpowers that
Yeah,
I don't think there is a ceiling. For me, it's like I'm the architect of my own life, and there's no ceilings, like there's no cap. I feel like probably the way I was raised, the values, my mom, like she always believed in me. But, since I'm a little girl, like I always had that belief that we all can do what we want, and we can either use those as excuses, like, oh, I don't know how to get in multifamily, oh, that's very intimidating, or we say, like, I don't know, let me partner up with somebody who knows, let me find my way, let me get a mentor, let me network, let me find about it, like all all the limiting beliefs are inside of us. There's no ceiling.
yeah. You can either find excuses or find a way, and find the way is your superpower seems to be, right? Like you don't let anything stop you. That's awesome. Um, so talking about superpowers, what is yours? You talked right now that instead of going with someone and asking, how can I provide value? You should go to someone and be like, look, this is my value, this is what I'm good at, this is my strength, and this is what I'm not so good at. But definitely, this is the value that I have that I can bring to the table. Right? These are my superpowers. So it's very important for you to be clear on what your superpowers are, and for you to be clear on what your skill set is and what you can bring to the table instead of trying to get someone else to tell you. So what is yours?
Well, that's very interesting. I feel like one of my superpowers is just to do everything. Like I get so passionate and so committed to everything. We go back to, like, if I set my mind to something, I commit and I go all in. And for example, in multifamily and all these technical things that we don't know or are very intimidating, is like I don't let that stop me. I just find my way through. I'll figure it out. I commit and then I'll figure it out the rest later.
Can you give me an example of about that, like a specific example of how, because it's really intimidating to like cap rates and value and all of this stuff, right? Like and net operating income and all of like contracts and legal and underwriting. Like it is really intimidating. So can you give me a specific example of how you broke through that and just you know went to the other way, being able to do it?
Yeah, so that's so good because so at the beginning, when I found out I want to get in multifamily and I didn't understand anything about all those terms that you just said, I was like, I want to get into this, but if I wait until I understand the underwriting and all these terminologies, it's gonna take me like 20 years. So so I'm gonna just add value with the skill set that I have. Like I'm like when I started with massive capital guys, I was like I was just hiring BAs, putting systems, creating digital, hiring a digital marketing company, all those things that everybody can do. And I just started doing a lot of little things until I had like 1 million things on my plate. And I started outsourcing and building. At the same time, I was, of course, always attending to networking events and having mentors and educating myself. Because when you're talking to investors, like, you need to know what you're talking about. But I didn't let that stop me to start. Does that
From not
make
doing
sense?
anything, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, like let me start where I am with what I have, and I'll figure it out as I go.
That's that's awesome. That's incredible. Because yeah, because like most people just like wait, right? And wait till they know everything, and that's just like a fancy way of procrastinating. But you didn't. And then I really liked what you said, right? Like I just started doing a lot of things that anybody can do, but this is the key, they're not willing to.
Exactly. And the other thing, I wasn't thinking like, hey, what's gonna be my GP share? Hey, I'm putting this many hours. What's in it for me? I was like, I need to learn this game, and just being part of this room is gonna set me. This the knowledge that I'm gonna acquire, it is what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a job or a W2 job. I was looking to understand multifamily because I was clear this is the next goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it doesn't work with them, the knowledge that I acquire here, I can take it anywhere. Like I always tell people, you need to work on things that nobody can take away from you. So,
Yeah.
like in multifamily or whatever, your audience is looking to get into, just work for free, understand the game and understand how things build relationships. Because if this partnership doesn't work, then you can leave and take it. Nobody's gonna take that away from you. And of course, I landed in really good hands, with these guys. They align to my values, to my mission. But it is amazing. They just helped me grow what I already had in me.
Yeah. So how did you come across Massive Capital? All of the guys, all of the people in Massive Capital.
It was through a mastermind. So we are part of Grant Cardone Real Estate. One of them, Mike Bailey, he is part of the Grant Cardone mastermind, and I am part of the community as well. And as I told you, I was just like I was clear on what I wanted to do, and I was just looking for the movers and shakers. And I introduced myself, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking to get in multifamily. This is what I can do, and here I am. And we go back to this to the question. Like I was putting so much effort and not like I wasn't expecting anything. I was just learning, and he saw me how hungry, how committed, and how honest I was. And they give me the opportunity to be in massive capital and just be part of the GP, so that was a really great opportunity because that was more than I expected at the beginning. I was just like, let me just learn, and I can take this anywhere. But now it was a life opportunity for me.
Now you're like in the middle of every single picture. Like if you go to the website, you're literally in the middle of every single picture. I'm not even kidding. So that's awesome. Um, so like for anybody out there, because like there's always this like mindset or belief or thought that in order for you to be able to get started in multifamily real estate investing and invest in this big commercial apartment buildings, you need to know everything, right? Like that's one, or that I don't have money or whatever. And then a lot of my guests always say, well, if you don't have this, well, we'll partner with someone who does. If you don't have that, we'll partner with someone with that. And you are an incredible, clear, and awesome example of that, right? Of just going out and finding the people who can complement your skill sets and who have what you don't, whatever it is that you don't have, and then you could and who to you could and to who you could provide value with whatever it is that you do have. And you're just the perfect example for that. So what would you tell anyone watching, any man or woman out there who is afraid and what they think is stopping them is that something is missing. Like they just think, oh, this piece is missing or this piece is missing, because clearly, right, a lot of pieces were missing for you, but you just went and found them.
This is where focus, we need to be clear on our focus, because if we focus on all the things that, oh, I'm not good at this, so for example, I'm going to talk for myself. I'm not good at underwriting. I'm not a numbers person. I'm not analytical. I don't have big packets. I don't have millions sitting on the bank. So if all these things, if I use them as an excuse, as a barrier to
You're
enter the
fried.
multifamily, that's it. I will never have like $53 million sitting on my bank account to purchase a property that we closed last year. Like it will never happen. However, we need to focus on the things like, this is what I can do. Let me just focus and let me get on my line. And at the beginning in multifamily, you're gonna explore and connect with everybody and learn everything, a little bit about everything. But once you understand your skill set and what you want to do, you just want to go deeper and find like, it's easier to find a way when you stay in your line and you are really good at something, that when you're all over the place trying to understand and trying to develop new skill sets, like that takes years you know
Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's change gears a little bit. So that was great advice, by the way. But what is massive capital? So massive capital is the company that you joined, right? Like the investment firm that you joined, and then it appears as if a new branch was born from that. Massive Capital Society, Girl Society, right? And I think you're leading that. So tell me
yes.
about that.
So Massive Capital Girl Society is, just like you say, like we are always like, I personally and the ladies that are with me in this, like we are looking to give back. We created wealth and we've been doing multifamily. Now we want to help women create wealth and grow on every single aspect of their lives, personally, professionally, and spiritually. So it's just a community of women who are looking to achieve the, create generational wealth, but also grow in every single aspect of their lives.
Personally, professionally, and spiritually. Awesome. So that's it. It's just a community for women who want to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
Yeah, and learn, of course, learn about real estate. And every week, we do it the first and the Tuesday of every month. And every time we have different speakers from every industry, not just real estate, but
Yeah.
we want to learn about why they did, how they do it, and something that we can take, or all of them, they've been very successful. All the speakers that we bring are like at least 10 times ahead of where we are, so we can learn from them. So even if it's not real estate or in one particular pillar, personally, professionally, or spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. And would you say, obviously, it's it's on all of those areas, personal, professional, and spiritual, but it's obviously geared towards real estate. So would you say that's more for a limited type of partner who wants to invest passively, or would you say that's for people who aspire to become an active investor and become a general partner as well?
Yeah, of course, it will be more for limited partners, but with massive capital, we have all the tools to take you on this journey to become an active investor. So it would, like in massive capital, we just launched our coaching program that actually helps you become a partner with us in one of those deals. So if one of the ladies that join, they can eventually go to that one as well.
Oh, okay. I'm just like wrapping my head around that. I love that. Cool. Nice. There. Awesome. So and so so then your superpower would be capital raising, is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So could you talk to me a little bit about how you do that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, for all these deals that we buy, we need money. That's another thing that I found really quick. When
Yeah.
I decided to get in multifamily, I attended to all these events and I was like, everybody has the best deal and everybody's looking to do the same thing, but everybody needs money. So that's when I was like, okay, I think, my sales background kind of appeal here. And it's just, it's not sales, but it's just like solving a problem and building relationships. Building relationships with people and always looking to add value and generously trying to help them. Of course the scale is different, but that's what I try to do: add value to them, find the right deal for them, a deal that fits their needs and their goals. Not because I have a deal I want to put them on a deal. Like, I like to take the time to connect with investors, learn about the real estate investment goals, their life goals, their personal goals, and put them on a deal that aligns to them, not just on any deal. In multifamily, there are deals that are more appealing for a person who is retired, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they need cash flow. But there is also deals that if you have a W-2 job or a business that is cash flowing, you instead prefer that your money doubles or triples, the equity multiplier. Like, you rather, either if you may have less cash flow but you have more equity multiplier, your money grows over during the 5 years whole period. So I like to take the time to get to know my investors and definitely put them on the right deals.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. So the couple of things that I want to talk about is you have a book launch. You're launching a book.
Yes. Actually, the book is gonna be launched on April 28th. And
A couple of
it's
days from now.
mhm. The book is Powerful Female Immigrants. It's a collaboration with 24 women who came to America, and most of us didn't speak English, had to start from scratch and build everything. For me, building my career, starting from scratch, starting school again, learning English, and follow your dreams. When you come to this country, you know, one of the first setbacks is like, oh, I don't speak the language. So
Yeah.
either is that an excuse or you're gonna find your way through? Oh, you gotta go through a whole immigration process. Okay, is that an excuse or you're gonna find your way through? So I talk about, my story and how all my hardships turn into opportunities.
Mm-hmm. 24 women.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's awesome. See, like just right there, you can see the power of having a network, right?
Mhm.
And it's like your network is your net worth, right? Like, and if like you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, you can do amazing things like publishing in a book along with 24 other people. That's I've never heard of that. Like, to be honest, it's really cool. So, um, on your bio on Instagram, there's this it says call. I don't know what call is. Yeah, I'm not that like educated when it comes to I guess the Bible, right?
Yes.
3:23. What
Mhm.
is that? Tell me.
It's a versicle that I get to read every day. It's like what I live for, and it says, "Whatever you do, do it with all your heart, as doing it for the Lord, not for human masters." And that's what it goes back to my superpower. Like, I like to do everything with so much love and so much passion, and I do it because I do it for God, not for my partners or for the business. Like, I see everything above that.
Cool. That's a great perspective. Like if you have that perspective, if you literally adopt that mindset, that perspective, that way of looking at things, right? No wonder you can do so good, so much good in the world, right? And with people.
Yeah,
I
because
like that.
you just stop thinking about what's in it for me, or my partners, your partners, people, friends, relationships. You're gonna be disappointed, you're gonna be mad, but like when you see and you work for for God, like you just give your best. Like, you have
Hmm.
no room to mess up. Like, you every day, like, you wake up and you do the things for a bigger purpose than the world.
For sure. Awesome. So, I end my interviews with a couple of questions. All right. But before I ask that, I want to ask about one last thing, which is the weekly massive webinar that
Mhm.
I think you host as well. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is for and who is it for and what is it that you discuss every single week on that?
Yeah, so massive capital webinars are every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And we have different topics. It's open to all the public. It's totally free and just for people who are either already doing real estate or getting to learn more about multifamily. We're very big about education, and my partners are really intelligent, very smart guys, so they provide so much value on different topics, like last week we just talked about the foreclosure that just happened in multifamily in Houston. So every week we have different topics, and we are an open book about it. We just discuss and share our experience and whatnot.
Hmm. Okay, awesome. So the people that normally listen to this podcast or the audience are people who have decided, right, that the vehicle that they're going to use to build wealth is real estate, right? So, and people are either active real estate investors or they're aspiring real estate investors. And I know that a really um, good way for someone to become an active real estate investor is for them to first become a passive real estate investor, right, and learn. And then as they learn and they feel how it feels to like receive cash flow every single month, right, then they can become an active investor. And I know that like you have that massive weekly webinar. You have I think you said that you were launching like a coaching program for passive investors to like eventually become, give them all the tool sets and everything so that they can eventually become active investors. And I guess that you have even more resources, right? Like that could get someone to get educated so that they can have the confidence and invest with confidence passively into real estate, but then eventually become an active investor. So what would be the best place to like find all of those resources?
Yeah, one is our web page. That's where we have everything consolidated. It's www.massive.capital. Massive.capital, not .com or anything. So that's where we have everything that we have going on.
Massive dot capital. Okay. All right. It's pretty simple. And it's interesting that it doesn't have .com. Okay. All right.
Even our
So
emails doesn't have that .com.
at capital, it's at capital.
Yeah,
Cool.
like Jasmine at massive.capital. It doesn't have the .com.
Ahorita termino en como media hora. All right. So the first question, Jasmine, is let's see. Let me take them out. All right. The first question is, what is a false belief? You work with a lot of people who invest passively and look to become active investors. So what is a false belief that you maybe, well, I don't think you had, but that you see most beginner real estate investors have that really holds them back from actually going all in and committing?
Most of the one of the beliefs that they have is like they need to be in charge.
Mm,
Like they need to be in charge of the contractors, the property managers, the leases, the units, all those things. Like that's the thing. Like once we have a business, or it's just like a baby, like we want to have it for ourselves and we want to control everything. But one of the things is like when you have somebody who is even more experienced than you, that have been doing this for several years, actually it's better if they do it.
hmm,
And the second
yeah.
part is like it's better just to receive money, like totally free money. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting. And some investors think like they need to be there and they need to, be in control of every single aspect of the property. But when you have a whole team and they do it and they do it well, it's okay to receive passive income. That's the real goal for all of us. We're doing this because of that.
Yeah. And yeah, and we tend to want to control everything. That's actually one of the main reasons that as to why entrepreneurs stay small, because like they want to control everything, they want to be wearing all the hats, and that's why they can never multiply their efforts and grow. So yeah, great insights. The next question is, what is an empowering belief? Now, now let's flip it. What is an empowering belief that you see most successful commercial multifamily real estate investors have?
Well, there's a several, but I will say number one is mindset. It's so like all of them, they have one thing in common, and is the power of believing and dreaming so big. There's no cap, and once you talk to them, you understand their mindset and how much effort they put on their mindset and how much they take care of their mindset, their energy. Because that's, at the end of the day, like you can have deals or things going south, but if your mindset is aligned and your mindset is strong, like you can go through everything.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So how do you work on your mindset?
Well, my mindset, so first of all, like I'm on a stage of always growing and always learning every single day. And what I mean, we go back to, I need to grow on every single aspect, and at least in one thing every day. Like every day I ask myself, like, how did I grow personally today? How did I grow spiritually today? How did I grow, professionally, what I did in my career to do better today.
Awesome. Great. I like that.
First,
So,
surrounding yourself with the right people. Like I always like to surround myself with people who is like way ahead of me. Like my goals are like they are living my goals 10 times of what I can dream. And
hmm,
expose myself to these rooms, to these people, because the energies are contagious, the
yeah.
dreams. And I was like, oh, I was just dreaming about having this, and this guy is like 20, 60 times ahead of me, and he's doing all this. I was like, oh wow, I was dreaming too small. Let's go. So definitely I believe in the power of networking, on the connections that we have, the people that we surround ourselves with. So
Awesome. So, actually, the last question is, building relationships and networking is key to be successful in the real estate investing game, raising capital, finding deals, and all of that. So, what is the strategy, like a successful strategy that you've seen, can help someone build relationships and a network?
the first thing is always show up. There are millions of events happening every single day, online, in person. Always show up. Like it's hard to put ourselves out there and going and introducing yourself, and it's intimidating, walking to all these people, because the kind of assets that they have, the kind of portfolios. But just show up, show up, and most of the things happen when you show up. Like you just gotta keep showing up, asking, connecting with people. And I had so many partnerships that I meet, and then the first time, second time, nothing happens, and then it's until the third time, like, people need to see that you are active, that you are serious about this, that you're not looking just to make a living and have some extra money. Like, you're looking to build an empire and help people and create wealth, and that builds trust, not just with investors but with partners. I try to do all this not just for investors, for my partners. Like, they continue to believe in me, and they know I'm serious and I'm committed to this.
Yeah, you can tell, right? It's felt. So, okay, great insights and great advice. And not only great insights and advice just because you're saying it, but because it looks like you're living it, right? So that's even better. So Yasmin, we've come to the end, and I've asked you where we could find more of the stuff that you got going on, but I'm gonna ask you one more time. So if someone wants to connect with you, they resonated with you, they got inspired by your story and the I can attitude that you have, um, where would be the best place to for them to get in contact with you?
I will say always Instagram. They can find me on Instagram as invest with Jasmine, and Jasmine spells Jazmin.
Awesome. Well, Jasmine, it's been an incredible episode for me. I've really enjoyed it, and I've had a lot of fun. And thank you very much. Okay, I'll see you
Thank you
later.
so much, Alexis. It's been amazing being here. It's amazing, and just keep doing it. Keep crushing. Because definitely you are inspiring so many people out there. I love what you're doing, and I love the fact that you share how important it is to grow on every single aspect as well. Like, we can have it all. We're not in a world that we
Hmm.
are in a world of and. We can have it all, this and that. So yeah, let's go.
And
And
that, and that, and that, and that, and like a never-ending ends, right? So I totally agree with you. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Thank you for listening to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. We want you to know that we love and appreciate you, and we're super grateful about being part of your journey of becoming a successful real estate entrepreneur and having it all. Please share this episode with a friend who you think will be impacted positively. Send it to someone who you know is interested in real estate and dreams of having it all and being the best they can be across all areas. And if you thought this episode was really valuable, share it on your social media as a post or a story. We have a special gift for all of those who contribute to the Modern Kings and Queens movement. So for those of you who decided to share this episode and help us spread our message, send me a message letting me know on any social media platform at Alex Ramirez, the Modern King. I have a special surprise for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.